My girlfriend Naomi and I have been together for over a decade. My younger sister Sarah and my girlfriend have never been super close but are friendly when we get together, or I guess they were. When Sarah was in high school, Naomi helped her with some personal things. Sarah got married a few days ago. When Sarah announced her engagement to the family, she asked Naomi to be a bridesmaid, which surprised us a little, but Naomi was very excited because she's never gotten to do it before and probably won't have the chance. I want to be clear that there was no suggestion from either of us that Sarah should ask her. It was about 2 seconds after she told us she was engaged. She said that she was so grateful to Naomi for the help when she was younger, and Naomi was very touched. A few weeks later, Sarah posts her bridesmaid proposals brunch. Naomi wasn't there. Sarah never said to either of our faces directly, but clearly she'd changed her mind. Naomi was hurt but said she understood because she hadn't expected the ask anyway. That would have been fine, but then a few months later, Sarah asked Naomi to go to the Bachelorette party and also come to get ready the day of with her friends and bridesmaids. Same thing, Naomi says yes and even helped her find a good place to go and a rental. A month and a half before the wedding, I'm talking to my mom on the phone and she mentions that Sarah's at her Bachelorette. No mention of it to Naomi. Now I'm kind of angry because Naomi was clearly very hurt at 2 invites and then being sort of ghosted. A week before the wedding, Naomi texted Sarah and asked about getting ready and hair and makeup, and Sarah responded, acting confused, and basically told her nicely to just come with me. Then I was really angry. Sarah wanted this really expensive baking mixer thing for a long time and I got it for her wedding gift. My mom had ruined the surprise, so she expected it. But after everything with Naomi, I felt like being petty and I cut her a check instead and returned the mixer. A few days after the wedding, Sarah texted me saying, "I don't know how to ask this, but what happened to the mixer?" And I responded, "I didn't know how to ask, but what happened to treating my girlfriend like a freaking human being?" Now my brother and my new brother-in-law and my mom are all texting me saying, "What the heck?" and that I'm ruining her happy time. Naomi, for her part, says I probably shouldn't have done that, but she feels a little vindicated. My mom keeps saying she doesn't want to bother her about it now, and I've already ruined her honeymoon phase. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I wouldn't have even given her a check. I would have bought her a whisk and a bowl and told her, "Oh, it's a great mixer. Mom must have been confused, just like you were when Naomi asked you about getting ready." But I'm petty like that. I would get her a whisk and a bowl, wrap it up fancy, and drop it off as a belated wedding gift. Wow, your sister is spacey? Or just an idiot? What kind of weird game is she playing? You didn't ruin her honeymoon. She called and asked where the mixer was. She was more concerned about a wedding gift than enjoying her honeymoon. I'm glad you did what you did. So she's clearly not just forgetting, she just decided Naomi didn't make the cut when it came down to it. I also think Naomi was just invited to the party because she could help with things, and when the sister was done using her, Naomi was promptly ignored. Your sister treated your girlfriend like garbage and didn't deserve the expensive gift. I personally love your level of petty. I'm a 25-year-old female and my husband is 25 as well. I'm a fairly new mom to twin boys. They're beautiful and they're my everything, but I needed a bit of a break to catch up with my mom who lives out of state. I was set to leave with my younger sister helping me pack and drive. My husband agreed that he was happy to look after the babies and that I should have a good time there. We agreed that I'd stay over the weekend. I'm enjoying catching up, things are going well, when I get a text from my husband saying he's thinking of getting a sitter. I'm a new mom, like I said. I really don't want my boys to have a sitter so soon. It might be silly, but I'm sticking to my guns, so I called my husband and told him we are not having a stranger look after our kids. It's only 2 days and it's not as if he has to work. He told me his head hurts so bad. Well, yeah, mine does too, after enough wiping diapers and listening to them scream, but you don't see me complaining. We argued for a bit, but I think I got my point across and he relented. I had a great time at my mom's, and when I got home everything was fine. Baby sleeping peacefully, house looking beautiful. Told you so. Ran to my hubs and gave him a big kiss. But he was in a funk. His head was killing him, he wanted to sleep. He told me it was so frustrating that I didn't let him get a sitter or a nanny to help him. The way I look at it, I just gave him a nice reality check into what it's like being a mother. I love my job, but it's not easy. I don't think I was the idiot leaving him with the babies. He did a good job. It's just not easy, no matter how you look at it. But he's been moody and thinks I showed my selfish side. Now currently lying down in a dark room covering his ears. LOL. So, am I the idiot for making my husband look after our kids while I visited my mom? Edit, he does have a migraine from time to time. Not the idiot. I don't interpret your told you so as malicious. Moms are usually the default parent and don't get any days off. Based on your wording, I'm assuming you're a stay-at-home mom. He wasn't watching y'all's kids, he was just being a parent. At some point, either parent will be fully alone and taking care of the kids. I wouldn't trust a random sitter with my infant either. Honey, young twins will exhaust you, especially since this is the first time in so many months it seems like your husband has been alone with the babies, and it's been non-stop for you. 2 days and he wanted to help, and it is apparent he got angry instead of realizing what you go through every damn day. You are the idiot. Your husband is currently lying down in a dark room, covering his ears, for all appearances suffering a migraine. That's a bit more than a headache. That's a debilitating level of pain. And you say LOL to that. Do you even know how bad those are, especially if they lasted 2 days? You then also admitted he did a good job. The house was tidy, etc. I have to ask, why do you hate your husband? Why did you marry and procreate with somebody who you seem to derive such pleasure in having to prove yourself better than? He's right, you have certainly shown him a side of your personality that's quite frankly disgusting. You would rather compete than support, and he won't forget that. In your bizarre efforts to show him how good you are, I think you just created your own countdown. I'm surprised by the amount of people saying, "You go, girl," instead of showing some empathy for the husband. He wanted to help, but it's causing him headaches and pain. This lady, his loving wife, is having a great time with her mom, insisting on him suffering for 2 more days. Then she went home and said, "I've told you so." What kind of human being is this? He's your husband, who you claim to love. He was in pain. Instead of showing love, you insist on having your own way. Shame on you. You might have caused permanent damage to the relationship. So, I'm a 21-year-old male. My girlfriend Ella, 21, and I have been together for 5 years and recently bought a place and moved in together. I have a few friends around the same age as me. One we'll call Caleb, 21 male. Last night we had a housewarming party and invited a few friends over. I'd invited Caleb and 2 other friends from high school, and Ella invited a few work friends. Of course, some drinks were had, but none of us, except Caleb, drank more than 1 or 2 beers. After the night progressed, Caleb started commenting about Ella and her looks. I admit she is a very pretty woman and always has been. Caleb started commenting on her clothing when she wasn't wearing anything revealing, just a skirt just above her knees and a long-sleeve sweater. He started asking things like how I managed to score someone like her. I told him to cut it out and he seemed to do so for a while. I'm not sure if it's relevant, but the way Ella and I met as kids was because of behavioural problems after her mother passed. She said that I was the first person who willingly decided to be around her since it happened, so I don't know if I see it as scoring. About an hour later, Caleb's comments about Ella started up again. He was talking about how short she was, but then started commenting on her body. I quietly snapped at him to stop, and even the other guys were telling him that it was going too far. It seemed that Ella heard his comments because she went upstairs and changed into longer pants. Her sweater was pretty long already. When she came downstairs, I was angry. Caleb had made her so uncomfortable in her own house that she felt like she needed to change. While using choice words, I kicked him out of our house. His girlfriend came to pick him up, and the party didn't last much longer. Ella later came to me and apologised for the trouble she caused and how she was dressed, and I told her that neither she nor her clothes were the problem. It was Caleb's sick comments. The next morning, Caleb's girlfriend called me asking what happened, and after explaining, she was horrified. Caleb had told her that Ella was coming on to him, and I got mad. Caleb later told me I was an idiot for telling his girlfriend and kicking him out, since apparently his girlfriend is rethinking their relationship. The guys are on my side, but a few of Caleb's family members tell me I should get Ella and her slutty clothing in check. And I don't know if I'm an idiot for doing what I did, but with so many people calling me one, I decided to ask, am I the idiot? Why are you even giving Caleb's family radio time? Block them. It's clear where Caleb's prejudice came from. Not the idiot, she was asking for it. Ugh, the misogyny is real. His family members? Which family members? Why is Caleb telling family members about this, and why do they have contact with OP? When I was 21, I don't think any of my friends' family members knew who I was enough to A. have my contact information, B. think commenting on friend group drama is appropriate at all. It's one thing if the family members are siblings. Still, the vagueness of family members has me thinking it's like Caleb's aunts, uncles, or parents or something, and that's honestly kind of weird. I would guess it's a small town and they grew up together. I knew a lot of my friends' family members at that age because, heck, I swear everyone is related to someone in those small towns. And the rumour mill is alive and well when there's not much else to do. Caleb is a lying, intoxicated idiot who was hitting on Ella, who was dressed appropriately and modestly for a party in her own house. Caleb is just throwing her under the bus to try to save his troubled relationship. This is not a friend. He should never darken your door again. I'm proud of you for standing up for your girlfriend and for reassuring her that she's not responsible for his behaviour. Many women don't hear that enough, especially from men they respect. It'll go a long way in the future toward preventing her from blaming herself if something ever happens again. It's beautiful to hear you're helping her unlearn taking the blame. You two sound wonderful for each other. So I, 29 female, was married for 1 year to my ex-husband, 31. We met at a party of one of our mutual friends 3 years ago and I was instantly interested in him. My sister, 22, already knew him and they had a fling before we met. I never had a big problem with this. They always acted friendly around me, but now I see I was too innocent. My mother-in-law loves me and my sister with all of her heart. She always said that we were the daughters she never had and we always did a lot of activities together. On the other hand, my mom never liked my ex. She held a grudge against him because my sister had just started college when they hooked up, and the age difference was too big for her. Well, I asked for a divorce a few months ago when I found out my sister and he were seeing each other behind my back. My mom told me when she saw them kissing one time that he drove her home after a party. To say that I was sad is an understatement. I was heartbroken. I couldn't look at his face or my sister's. I didn't tell my mother-in-law why we separated because I thought that this was his responsibility. But I've been receiving tons of calls from her asking if I'm okay and saying that she misses me. I wasn't planning on saying anything, but she went as far as to ask my mom about what happened. And she told me that if I didn't say anything, she would. So I visited her and dropped the bomb. I've been receiving lots of messages from my ex's brothers, mutual friends, and some of my ex's relatives saying that I shouldn't have done that. And now my mother-in-law hates my sister and has been crying frequently. As much as I feel bad for her, I feel like I dropped a heavy weight and I can finally breathe. I don't think I did something wrong, but I wanted to know some outside opinions. Honey, the light bulb is never at fault for the roaches in the pantry. What a crappy situation, but you're not the idiot. And what was your ex and sister's plan? Suddenly pop up and pretend that they only started dating after the divorce? They're the idiots. Anything that can be destroyed by truth should be. If your sister and your ex didn't want his mom to think that they were cheaters, then they shouldn't have cheated. Shine bright, OP. You deserve better than this guy, and I can't even with your sister. She will see that this guy isn't worth it, and then she'll have no one left. Keep doing you, OP. Plenty of fish in the sea. Wishing you well during this time. Karma will definitely come in the form of this dude cheating on her as well. Seen it many times. It's a matter of waiting if he isn't already. My mom never really liked my ex-husband. Your mom is a smart woman. Maybe take this as an opportunity to follow in your mom's footsteps and not ignore obvious red flags going forwards. Just the fact that you're willing to pick up your sister's scraps is a red flag. Holy cow. My husband, 29 male, and I, 29 female, got married a few months ago. It all went perfectly and I couldn't have asked for a better man to marry. To capture the day, we hired one of my university friends as a photographer since he does it as a side gig and he offered it as a wedding present for us. The issue concerns my younger brother John. There's one slightly blurry photo where he's having a nap on a chair in the background of the photo while me and my older brother Tom dance together in front. It looks exactly like a photo I had when we were younger and at someone else's wedding, but we're all kids. When my friend showed me the photo and asked if I wanted it deleted because he didn't notice John asleep in it, I asked him to keep it but put it in a separate folder so it's not in the link everyone else gets to view the photos. Only me and my husband have a copy. He thinks it's cute that the two photos are the same also. Currently, that photo hangs in the living room next to the one where we're kids, a side-by-side comparison. It makes me smile whenever I see them because I barely have any photos of both of my brothers. Sure, I have big family ones, but none with just them, especially on a day that's so sentimental to me. They're also not the biggest photos on my wall and in the corner. Your eye isn't immediately drawn to them when you look at our main wall. I didn't think my keeping this photo was a huge deal, No one else has it, and John isn't embarrassed about having narcolepsy at all. However, when he stopped by and saw I'd hung both of the photos up in the living room, he got annoyed with me and tried to take them down. We talked about it briefly, but ultimately I left it up there because they remind me of cute moments and having a good time with my brothers on my wedding day. I always hate staged photos and think unexpected moments captured on a camera look nicer anyway. Was I an idiot for this? Should I take it down? Our mom wants me to take down the photo to keep my brother happy, but I really don't want to. Not the idiot. Enjoy the photo, but hang it somewhere else since it bothers him so much. We don't always know why some family members are sensitive to things that the rest find funny. For him, it stirs up something other than a sweet sentimental memory. Pick out your second favourite wedding photo and display that one. Maybe someday your brother will explain why it bothers him, and you can have a nice bonding moment over it. Because he has narcolepsy, which OP claims he isn't embarrassed about, but he obviously is if he's asking her to take down a picture of him falling asleep, which she thinks is good times and cute memories. You are the idiot, OP. This is a big difference. Your brother may not want his medical condition displayed as a conversation starter in your living room or a cute annotation to your decor. Her husband isn't even in it. It's her dancing with her other brother. It's not the bride and groom photo. A bit more empathy could go a long way. Also, I could imagine brother feeling bad that the sweet, candid moment with both OP's brothers consists of him sleeping while his other two siblings are having fun together. OP, stop pretending you actually care about your brother and having good times with him when he obviously hated this experience of falling asleep.